When starting a game and die a death, survivors are offered 3 sets of 2 abilities, some helping you escape, some stunning the killer, and some aiding your teammates. While every ability can be helpful, certain abilities are definitely better than others. In this video, I'm going to be ranking every ability on a tier list based on how good they are. Keep in mind, certain abilities are better against certain killers, so these rankings may not apply in every case. Hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get started. Starting off, we have a very simple ability, Punch. Boom, big punch! It does what you would expect, stopping you in place and attacking forward after a 0.75 second windup. If you connect, it deals 25 damage and stuns the killer for 3 seconds. It has a 40-second cooldown. Now this can definitely come in clutch, allowing you to create distance from the killer or helping out other teammates being chased. I like to camp around a corner and use the punch in advance in order to catch the killer off guard. And a 3-second stun is pretty impressive. However, this ability isn't the greatest. The hitbox isn't that big, and with the 0.75 second windup, if you do end up missing, you are in a lot of trouble. Also, it has no invincibility when being used, so if the killer is chasing you and you stop the punch, you will most likely trade hits. And trust me, the killer hits a lot harder than you do. Oftentimes, stopping the punch is riskier than just continuing to run, and it is especially useless against someone like Killjoy who doesn't need to get close to you. And the cooldown of 40 seconds means you're pretty much only going to be using it once per chase, so it's not that helpful. I'm going to rank it as a C tier. It can help you out, but it's a bit too risky and easy to avoid. If it did give you invincibility upon being used, I definitely would have put it in the B tier. For our next ability, we have Caretaker. Equipping this ability automatically decreases your health by 25, so you become more vulnerable of a target. When using it, you splash in a large hitbox in front of you, healing anyone inside 10 health and an additional 10 over time for a total of 20. This can heal multiple people as long as they are within radius. This can provide some extremely powerful support to your team, and if the killer doesn't take care of all the caretakers, he's gonna have a rough time. While powerful, there are a couple issues with this ability. First of all, it's very difficult to use on someone mid-chase since you stop in place. Also, people often accidentally move out the way when you want to heal them. Well, stay here! Why are you running away from me? So you usually have to explicitly tell them to stand still. But with a cooldown of only 30 seconds and the benefits it provides, I'm gonna rank it as a strong A tier. If you pick this class, you're probably gonna get targeted and maybe killed because of your low health, but with a good team that actually protects you, you're gonna be a very valuable asset. Next up, we have Adrenaline. Upon using, you get 6 seconds of extreme speed, allowing you to easily create distance from the killer. After the speed boost ends, you are immobilized for 2.5 seconds and gain no stamina. This can be very good in the early game, as oftentimes the killer would just give up on you and go for someone else. However, towards the late game, if the killer just chooses to continue chasing after you, you are absolutely cooked. They can easily deal a ton of damage when you're stunned, and you won't be able to get away since you haven't recovered any stamina. It can be fine if you have a huge stamina advantage, but if you don't, using this ability will get you killed. Because of that, I'm gonna have to put it in the D tier. It's really not great and only helps you escape temporarily. Next up, we have the BonusPad. Equipping this ability decreases your max health by 10, which is not a huge amount, but it's noticeable. This ability locks you in place for 2.5 seconds, building a speed pad. It lasts for 40 seconds, and anyone who touches it gets a slight speed boost for 3 seconds. This ability has a cooldown of 60 seconds. It can be quite risky to use this ability, as you'll want to place it in an area where survivors often loop around, but that also means the killer is likely nearby and may catch you lacking. So try and make sure he's not right next to you before you use it. This bonus pad can come in clutch for anyone being chased, especially if you built it in a nice loop. With several of these down, the killer can't really do much to catch up. Very powerful ability, but the speed boost isn't crazy enough to make it an S tier. So I'm gonna put it in A tier, one spot below the Caretaker. Personally, I think being able to heal multiple people a solid amount of health is more valuable, but I understand if some people think this ability is better. Next up, we have the Cloak. After a 1.5 second transformation, you become completely invisible, and you're able to move around for 10 seconds until you eventually get locked in place for 2 seconds as you become visible again. This can seriously come in clutch, sometimes allowing you to completely avoid the killer, but it's also a very risky move. If the killer hits you during the transformation or guesses where you're going and hits you while you're invisible, you will begin transforming back, making you stuck for 2 seconds and essentially dead. On top of that, you don't regain any stamina until you convert back to being visible, so if you wasted it all, you're extra screwed. Because of that, you can only use this ability if the killer is decently far away from you. It won't save your life in close, intense chase. This is another ability that definitely depends on the map you're playing on, as ones with many corners and hiding spots are better, as it makes it easier to transform. If used correctly, I don't think any other ability compares to the advantage it gives you, as a killer may completely lose you, and it could win you the game in last man standing, or at least significantly prolong your life. So I'm gonna put it in the mid B tier. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super confident in this ranking, so let me know in the comments below if you think it's better or worse than I do. Next up, we have the Revolver. When using this ability, you stop in place, shooting out a bullet, which travels in a straight line. This has infinite range and explodes upon making contact with the killer or any obstacle. It has a 2-second stun and deals 50 damage. In order to shoot it again, you have to wait 15 seconds to start reloading, and then another 15 seconds to shoot. This reloading animation pauses you in place, making you quite vulnerable. Personally, I think this is way better than the punch for several reasons. First of all, it's much better for helping teammates being chased, since you can carefully watch a killer chasing after another survivor and predict their movement, since likely they'll be chasing close behind the other survivor. So wait for them to go for a choke point and shoot that killer right in the face. It's also a lot safer to use since it has infinite range. As long as you're skilled and able to predict its movement, you can take shots from far away and not put yourself in any risk. However, the biggest flaw with this ability, and something that the punch is actually better at, is that if you're being chased, you won't be able to reload and use it again. However, with the punch, it has such a long cooldown anyways that you're probably also only going to be using it once. So despite its slightly lower stun, the much longer range, and better teamwork capabilities makes me put it in the A tier, one spot above the bonus pad. Now some people may argue that the bonus pad is better, but personally I don't think the speed boost from it is that crazy, and if someone manages to stun the killer while being chased, that's going to help you out a lot more than the speed boost. Next up we have Loveshot, which is a bit different than the rest. This ability has a huge stat decrease, removing 25 health and 10 stamina, but in return it's very powerful. You receive both the Revolver ability and Caretaker. The Revolver works the same as usual, stunning as long and having the same cooldown, but it now heals you 15 HP per shot. So not only do you have a way to defend yourself or help teammates, you have a pretty powerful passive healing effect. This can make you a nightmare to kill, but do remember that your stats are noticeably lower. You may be able to regen and stun, but it's gonna take less hits to kill you, and the decreased stamina makes it harder for you to get away. But a healing Revolver is just too good for me not to put it at least as a low S tier. It really depends on how consistent you are with landing your Revolver shots, but if you're locked in, this ability is insane. Next up, we have the Hotdog. When used after a 3-second animation, it heals you 15 health and permanently increases your max health by 5. It also has a 25-second cooldown, so it is a very powerful healing ability. This may sound amazing, but it has a huge drawback. Every time you use it, you permanently lose 5 max stamina. That's really bad. Sure, you can heal up a bit, but if you use that ability too much, you are guaranteed going to die the next time you are chased. Stamina is definitely more important than health, since killers hit pretty hard. They deal at least 20 damage with their basic attack, and they usually have plenty of other stronger abilities. That 15 health isn't gonna do much, and in a game where it's already pretty hard to outrun the killer, you can't afford to lose much stamina. You would much rather be quick and hard to catch than tanky and slow. Because of that, I'm gonna rank it as a low D tier. At first glance, it seems great, but it's pretty awful. Next up, we have the banana peel. After a 2-second windup, you shoot a banana peel in front of you, which lays on the ground. If you or the killer walk into this banana, they trip, momentarily slowing them down. It's not a real stun, which is kind of a good thing since the killer won't get any form of stun immunity after. It's a good trapping option, which you can either hide behind corners or use to block paths. The ability is extremely map dependent, probably being the most map dependent ability in the game. In order to shine, it needs tight choke points, otherwise it's super easy for the killer to simply walk past it if they see it. Also, you obviously can't use it mid-chase as it slows you down drastically and takes too long to shoot. This ability can be very annoying for the killer, especially if multiple people have it and build a wall of bananas. It has a cooldown of only 20 seconds, so you can basically have bananas up the whole game, but it's inconsistent. The trip can do very weird things as it puts the killer into a ragdoll, so sometimes it might take them a moment to get up, or they'll be nearly unaffected and just keep running. So it can be helpful for cutting off pathways and annoying the killer, but the slowdown isn't that crazy, and given how map dependent it is, I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier above the Cloak. It's nice that you can use it while you're far away from the killer, and the low cooldown makes it easy to use throughout the whole game, but it's not that powerful. Oh yeah, and also, it gets super buffed if you're in an LMS with Artful, allowing you to spam it, so in that case, it's extremely powerful, but I don't really feel like that's fair to consider. Next up, we have the Dash. Selecting this ability lowers your health by 25, but doesn't change your stamina. When used, you quickly dash forward, using 35 stamina. This might sound a bit pointless since you're wasting so much stamina, but there's something really overpowered about this ability. You can still use it if you don't have enough stamina. So you can go down to 0 during a chase, then use the ability for a bit of extra distance for no cost. Sure, you'll have to deal with the stamina recharge punishment for going down to 0, but the distance gained from the dash is 100% worth it and makes it an absolute nightmare to catch a skilled player with dash. And if that wasn't broken enough, it has a short cooldown of only 20 seconds, letting you use it constantly throughout a chase, gaining more and more distance. It is definitely the best survivalist ability in the game, making it much easier to escape killers. There's also an interesting tech involving it and bananas or fall damage. If you dash into a banana or dash from a tall ledge that would otherwise put you into a ragdoll, you will slide extremely far. So if you have the banana ability and dash, you can set up safe spots for yourself which you can use to gain distance. It is a very good ability and definitely an S tier. I'm gonna put it above the Loveshot as there really isn't any downside to it. It just makes your ability to survive chases much better. Next up, we have Taunt. When activated, you stop in place with a growing hitbox forming around you. If the killer attacks you, it grants you 2 seconds of invincibility and covers this killer screen with a PNG of a survivor. That's pretty much it. This ability isn't great. Sure, it can help annoy the killer a little, but the invincibility is not worth it as it's way too short and doesn't prevent the killer from continuing to chase you. A stun is much more effective than invincibility as it helps you create distance. This ability mainly removes distance as you have to completely stop to use it. And if the killer doesn't fall for it, you become extremely vulnerable and you're gonna take at least 1 to 2 big hits. It has a short cooldown of 25 seconds, but it just isn't worth using. So I'm gonna rank it as a D tier, 1 spot above the Hotdog. Unlike the Hotdog, it doesn't nerf you each time you use it, and it can kind of help by messing with the killer's eyesight, sight, but I feel like it would need a stun or some other benefit to make it actually good. Next up, we have the block. This is a pretty popular ability, so my ranking might upset some people. When used, you go into a blocking stance for 2 seconds and have a 1 second end lag after. If the killer hits you, you gain 10 health, and the killer is unable to use their abilities for 2 seconds. That is literally it. No stun, no speed boost, just 10 health, and temporarily stopping the killer from using their abilities for not even that long. And while stopping the killer from using its abilities may sound good, it's not actually that great. It doesn't create any distance from you and the killer, so once they can use their abilities again, they're probably still right on top of you, so you're cooked regardless. For an ability that immobilizes you for a total of 3 seconds, that is just not worth it at all. And as a nail in the coffin, it has a cooldown of 40 seconds. In a close chase, you are not lasting 40 seconds, so you're probably only healing 10 HP once, and then you're cooked. But I must say that it is definitely better than the abilities I have in D tier. If you are really good at the game and you do land your blocks, it doesn't hurt to use. Sure, it doesn't help much, but 10 HP is 10 HP, and if you do manage to get away, you may end up landing this block multiple times throughout the game. It's a high risk, low reward ability, so I'm gonna put it in the C tier. With that, we move on to our final ability, the Carepad. By equipping this ability, you lose 35 health, which is the biggest health decrease out of any ability in the game. But trust me, it's worth it. It's similar to the boost pad, taking 2.5 seconds to build, except the Carepad heals people instead of granting speed. It can heal 2 HP per second and has no limit to how many people can use it. You can actually use it yourself, so it's both a team healing ability and a self healing ability. It stays up for 30 seconds and has a 60-second cooldown. This ability is insane. It can heal survivors being chased. It can heal people just standing on top of it when the killer is nearby. It is incredibly influential on the entire game. It is definitely the best support / healing ability. The killer can't break this pad either. His only option is to try and kill the person with the ability, but the whole team is definitely going to want to protect them, so good luck with that. In my opinion, this is definitely the strongest ability in the game. If you do not take care of the survivor with this ability, you will not win. Because of that, I'm going to be placing it in the S tier above everything else. Dash is probably better for keeping yourself alive, but this is a team game, so the Carepad is definitely better. And with that, that's it for this video. This is my fully completed tier list of the game, so feel free to screenshot it and flame me to your friends, but remember that any ability largely depends on what map and what killer you're playing against, so this tier list may not apply in every case. Let me know in the comments what you think, and hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed. Also, make sure to check out my Discord server, as I'm pretty active there. I'll see you guys in the next video.